Good morning, friends. We're outside and I've got 5 of my grandchildren here. And I had an idea that maybe we could do something and they could participate, learn the skill, and then we'd be able to also teach it. There's going to be lots of times when we may need some alternative fuel and ways to cook. And right now there's fires because of droughts. There's hurricanes happening, tornadoes, earthquakes, there's flooding, there's blackouts, all of those kinds of things. And this is something that I taught my own children a long time ago. We have 10 children, 7 sons. All 7 of them became Eagles. But that meant a whole lot of campouts, and they did it in rain and snow and heat and in distance and with restrictions and needing to have their own cooking fuels. And so this is something I'd like to show you. We made, now I don't know if this is our name for it or what, but buddy burners. This is a chicken can, okay? And as all we did was take a wick, a cotton wick, and roll cardboard strips. And that's what the kids are going to do. By putting 3 nails in it, it instantly becomes a stove. You can put a pot on it, you can put a can on it, you can boil water, you can do whatever. With a much smaller one than this, it was just a little tuna fish can. One of our sons took it for a whole 5 days on a 50-mile hike and prepared all of these meals. So that's 15 meals, okay, that he had to do. Brought it home, and we did at least 3 more weekend campouts on Scouts that it was sufficient fuel. And then when it burns out, you can even refill it with your paraffin. You can do it in small chili cans. You can do it in whatever size cans you'd like. But this is what it's going to look like when they do it. Of course, you can buy the alternative fuel cans, but that's sufficient. That's additional. If I pry this up, then it may leak. But you have seen them. You buy them at outdoor supply stores or online, and it also is a fuel source. But it costs money. This basically is recycling. It costs you nothing except for the paraffin that you'll put in it. And as you can tell, my can that you see I've bent a little spout, has red wax in it. And why? It was some old Christmas candles that had melted in the heat and were no longer useful. I threw them in, and we now use it for such projects as this. So we'll begin, and we'll let you see the good-looking kids that I've got, and they can ask questions, and hopefully you'll learn just a little bit more about how we could do it. If we had to hurry and bug out, it's a useful thing to put in backpacks or 72-hour kits, or it's nice just to have some in the home that you could grab if your electricity went out for a small time or for a long blackout. Then we will just melt the paraffin and pour it in, and then I keep these in a 5-gallon bucket, and I've got a whole 5-gallon bucket of these because kids have done it. And I don't think by recycling you can never have too much alternative fuel. But we also, I have tried to do a 72-hour kit where if we had to leave immediately, be evacuated for some reason, that it was something that we could grab and go. These were in our kits and still are. There is other types of cooking, and I hope in another video to be able to show that to you so that you could get some ideas for things you might be able to do and want to do in case of evacuation. Thanks for watching. I'm trying to show them how to do this. This is Logan. Look at Logan. And we've got Brielle, Easton, and taping is Dre. And Katie will be back. You take a piece of cotton twine and make it your wick. Leave some on both sides. And Logan said I could help him to start, didn't you? And so you wind it around just as tight as you can get it. When you have about this much left, you put your additional piece and then start winding it. And you may need to pick it up, to bend it with your other fingers, and you're going to try to get it as tight as you can get it. But it's okay. I've got a secret because I've worked with a lot of kids making these buddy burners through the years. And if you don't get it real tight, there's a way that we can tighten it up and wedge it with more cardboard. And then you just keep going. And when you get to about this much again, you take another piece. I've got them cut for the different widths of the cans. Stick it in there and start again. It's really very easy, very elementary, Watson, but it's something that you and the kids can do. Then when you get here, oh look, see, I've got a whole lot more I can do. At least one more piece before I'm going to be through. Will you pull one of those out, Katie? Introduce Katie.
Hi.
All right. Thank you. Brielle's trying to make sure we get it done right, sweetheart? Yeah, she is. Now you see, I'm actually going to put the really long end down into the can, and then we'll put it in. Okay? Now, there's room because it unraveled for me to put some of the wedges that I want to show you how you can put them in. See? You can push it and put these wedges down in and tighten it up. If you want to put more cardboard, and then it makes it even tighter. And when we pour, you will be waxing the wick, and that wick will wind up being just perfect for what you're needing. Let me show you right here. My sweetheart brought out a lighter, and see how easy it starts. And there's no problem in doing it. Let's say you had difficulty though when it's burning the whole top of the can. You're saying, I can't blow all of that out. When it gets down, the wick gets down, it's going to start burning the top of the cardboard. And that one already has the wax in, so it will begin spreading, and it becomes a flame that goes across the whole top there. It's not there yet. You can tell wind is happening just from nature right now. But let's say it was hard to get out once it got started. All you have to do is smother it. And that's really easy, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna see if you guys can do this, okay? I'll cut you each a wick. Has it been hard?
No.
Kind of.
Okay. Why, kind of? Tell
Hard
me.
to keep it tight.
Hard to keep it tight, isn't it? How are you doing, Gray?
Pretty good.
Okay, you've got the first one
I'm
now.
gonna say I'm doing horrible.
Slide one in. Because remember, we can always tighten it up. And if you put your longer one in, that's good because it will take less seams. And it's always hard to get your seams straight. Here, hand me the end, and I'll pull it over here and get it a little straighter for you. And if you use the leverage, yeah, like you're doing a bedroll, that's good, Easton. Here, keep going. Keep going.
Easton's is big.
It is big, isn't it? I think it's going to be just about
Looks like
big
a cinnamon
enough.
roll.
Yeah. I wonder if it'll taste as good as a cinnamon roll. That's all. No, I don't think you'll need any more, Easton. I think if you'll finish that roll and then get a hold of it with two hands
And put it in your container.
and
No,
test your container. No, let's put it in Gray's because it's got a lip and yours is just right for Gray's size. Yeah, push hard. Hard. Perfect. You're doing great, Easton. That's exactly what you're supposed to do.
I think
Perfect.
that's
Don't
too
pull
long.
it up. Yeah, we can always cut it. But do you need any little pieces stuck in?
Yeah.
Okay, and you may want to even cut those pieces here if you think you need them cut.
Grandma,
Yes?
when are we gonna be done?
What?
When are we gonna be done?
It's hot out here. Where are you? Where do we live?
Thatcher.
Arizona.
Thatcher, Arizona. Is it hot? Yeah, and we're not used to the fact that we might hopefully get some rain. We've been praying for it, haven't we? But that adds humidity to the
Why can't
To
we not
the,
pray for it? Well, you don't
whole
get
thing, and we're not used to humidity. Okay, let's see if you can get it. No, yeah, That's
He's
perfect.
too big.
I think you can get it.
Okay.
Let Grandma
Oh yeah.
try to
Oh, my fingers hurt.
help you. Is that? I think we can.
Let's do cut.
Here we go.
Good job, Brett.
Logan,
We're all finished.
let Grandma sit there and
I think I
see
need
if I
another
can
one.
help
Another
Katie.
what? Another what, right? I'm a genius.
If we get part of it in, then you go around. But I think you're right, Katie. The scissors, we need the scissors.
Here.
Okay? So see, we'll cut some off and then see if we can get it in.
He's messing up the table.
Yeah, a tablecloth may not have been a real good idea for this project, huh? Even
Oh,
though
yeah.
it's my old work tablecloth.
Good thing it's your own. Okay.
Uh-huh. It's the one you kids
Good we
normally
can
do
use it.
paint projects on.
Good we can use it. Dang it. That could have worked.
Finally. Just right there is the one place.
Right
Yeah,
there.
you have to
way too big, but okay.
No, not really. The string?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Look.
You can cut it.
Honestly, I think if I just fill in those tiny gaps right there.
We just have to get mad enough to get it in there. Now, the reason we want this tight is so it will hold the nails, okay? If it's not tight enough, then the nails
Logan,
as it
wait.
burn would loosen, and the your meal might fall on the ground, and you don't want that for a stove, something that's unstable. But Katie, you did amazing. Look at that.
Thanks.
That's going to be awesome, awesome. And it'll hold it well. Then we will just melt the paraffin and pour it in. And then I keep these in a 5-gallon bucket. And I've got a whole 5-gallon bucket of these because kids have done it. And I don't think by recycling you can never have too much alternative fuel. But we also, I have tried to do a 72-hour kit where if we had to leave immediately, be evacuated for some reason, that it was something that we could grab and go. These were in our kits and still are. There is other types of cooking, and I hope in another video to be able to show that to you so that you could get some ideas for things you might be able to do and want to do in case of evacuation. Thanks for watching. Another thing that I'd like you to know, and that is if you get isopropyl 50% alcohol, it really doesn't matter how old it gets. You can store it. It may not have the antiseptic qualities that you would like to cleanse a wound, but it still is fuel. And if you'll take this, let's see if I can get into it. It's been a long, long time that I've had this stored. And put it in a fireproof container, any fireproof container you've got. If you'll light it, it puts off a very hot fuel, and it does not have a toxic fume or even ash that does it. So you could cook with this inside. Once I light it, I'm going to be able to touch below the line. Katie, look at, show them where you see how far up it is? But if I take the can below it, it won't even be hot. Now you'd still want to put it on a trivet or a piece of wood, a piece of a brick, a rock, something, so it may not mess up your counter. Let me see. That's like this one's about out of fuel. Let's see if I can get it. There's a different one.
Wait, what? There's not even a flame.
There
yeah, it's not working super great.
Is it hot though?
Oh, yes. It's burning.
What?
It's a blue flame. It's very hot.
Oh, I
Above
can
it.
barely see
Oh.
You see it?
Oh,
it. Yeah.
It's very, very warm above it. Yeah,
I don't want to touch it.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You can see fire.
Okay. But I can go below it and it doesn't do it. So you could put, and shoot, you've seen them. You could put 2 bricks and a grate over the top, and you'd have a fire.
Yeah.
Or you could get one of those little stoves that holds your pan up, and you put a fuel source underneath. That is very hot. If you had some of this and you needed it as a room warmer, like a heater, you could do this, and it does not put off toxic fumes, and there's of course you'd want it somewhat ventilated because fumes burn oxygen, and you never want to have fire inside a airtight room, or it would deplete the oxygen. But this too can be extinguished just like this, because I'm depleting the oxygen.
Wait, so if you take it off, there will be no fire?
In a few seconds, Easton, that's great. Now
Like if you
see,
put a lid on a can.
it still had to
Not really.
it still had to burn all the oxygen in this can, okay? But now, see,
It's like if you put a lid on a candle,
But then
it's
the
burning,
candle would-
and then
that's right.
you put the lid on so the fire goes out because
Yeah,
it doesn't have any oxygen.
Candle would still burn.
perfect. See,
Yeah.
and this isn't hot at all.
It's not?
Wow.
No, come touch
what?
this. Touch the can. It's been burning. Don't go above the thing. You can go above a little, and it's very warm. But
But it's
below,
not hot.
but below, it's not
Yeah,
well
it's not
because
hot.
it's out now. But I'm saying, even when it's burning, you can pick it up by touching it underneath.
That's crazy.
So that is something that is very valuable to know also. And this one right here, this can become a room heater. I need something to pry it. Where's the scissors, kids? Thank you. If you can find a container like this, it's an old paint container. Guess what that is?
Wipes or tissues?
Close.
Toilet paper.
Toilet paper?
Toilet paper. You take the inside
No
roll
way.
and pull it out, okay? Crush it
Mm-hmm.
and pull it out. And then you stuff a roll of toilet paper in here. And then if you were to pour this and saturate it, it immediately becomes,
Fire.
all of our things are about out. Do you see it?
Yeah.
And that becomes a room heater for you. Okay? Now you think if we were in Flagstaff, or if we were up in Alaska or Canada or wherever it's going to get mighty cold, that would burn and go for several hours in a room for you. Then you want to extinguish it. That's how you do it.
That's crazy.
Okay?
What?
Here's one more hint. I know it looks hideous, doesn't it, Easton?
Looks like mold.
It doesn't look like it's something you'd want to eat.
Or touch.
No, touch it. It's hard.
Wait, whoa.
What? Pine sap, kinda.
It's what it is.
Disgusting.
Or not pine sap.
Is I clean the lint
What?
out of the dryer, and you put it in a
egg carton.
yeah, but it has to be a paper egg carton, not a plastic one, not a foam one, and you stuff it in there, and when you get them all filled, then you pour your paraffin wax over. Then guess what you do? It gets cold. You just, I really would like to keep this intact, but it's easy enough to either cut or break one of those off. And see the little edges that would be there?
Yeah.
You start your match on it, and even in a snowstorm, one of these cubicles will burn for 5 minutes.
Wow.
And so if you gather as much fuel as you can and as dry as you can, and you had a starter that would start for 5 minutes, you should be able to get a fire that could be life-saving to you. Okay?
That's crazy.
And
Wait,
you
what's
can
it
buy these, and it's what it is they take sawdust and form them in little bars, and you can take them, but everything like that costs money. These are children's crafts. It's recyclable stuff. It's things that can help you be more secure. You can take an empty can like this, fill it full of sawdust, and pour it, melt your paraffin, pour it over the sawdust, and that's also a room warmer or a tent warmer or whatever. In case your heater goes off, you have nothing, you don't want to freeze, fine, you put layers on, blankets, but you still need some heat. This is contained heat that would help save your life.
If you put a heater in your room, in your tent, and you left it overnight, couldn't it suck out all the oxygen? And
No, because tents are never airtight.
Wait, but what about if the fire's going in it, wouldn't it burn the tent?
The thing is,
My
if
dad's
I were
friend
to
died.
ever have to do it to save my life, I would take rocks or something that didn't burn. This is how you can find your paraffin wax. You can find it in the grocery stores by your canning bottles and lids. They use it to top off. They used to, our pioneers. Now we normally don't use this method, but some still do, to seal jams so that mold won't create. But I would take some rocks and look, boys, take this over and put it, if you created some rocks in your tent, set that, throw it to them.
Okay.
No, the bigger rocks. If you found a few bigger rocks and set them in your tent and secured that and then put rocks around it so it wouldn't
Put
fall
rocks
over.
around the can.
It wouldn't burn you or anything else.
Oh,
That would be a safe way to be able to heat your tent. Thank you.
Subscribe!